The Orioles have already been pretty active so far this offseason, but winter meetings are taking place right now, and Mike Elias has made it known that there's some room and a good chance for more signings to come through. But I'm going to break down the most recent major deal, and that was for closer Ryan Helsley for 2 years at $28 million and a player opt-out after the 2026 season. Now, this was a huge get after needing to replace Felix Bautista's ninth inning role, and you're reuniting Helsley with Andrew Kittredge after they were together in St. Louis in 2024. There they posted a .243 combined ERA and were a great 1-2 punch that you're now bringing into the Baltimore bullpen. I've got a lot more StatCast figures for you here on Annielytics. I'm Annie Claff. Let's jump right in. Now, Ryan Helsley is a 7-year veteran that was one of the best relievers in the free agent market this year, even after a down 2025 season. So we're going to look at what might have happened. Here's a side-by-side comparison with 2024 Helsley's pitch arsenal and in 2025 between St. Louis and the New York Mets after the trade deadline. His fastball was not nearly as effective in 2025 as it was the year before. And first, I want you to notice the pitch location of that four-seamer. It was much higher in the zone in 2024 compared to the following year. This is because he wasn't as great at elevating that four-seam fastball as he was with the Cardinals the previous season. He had that fastball high 22% of the time in 2024 compared to only 8% with the Mets after the trade deadline. So elevating that fastball is going to be huge for him and getting it back to its original form in 2026. You can also take a look at his increased arm angle, which went up by 10 degrees since 2020 and perhaps impacted the fastball's deceptiveness with a more vertical arm angle. Now, Helsley said that this started off with a foot issue in spring training this past season and carried over throughout the year. It's a lot harder to fix something like that in the middle of the season in a large market in New York than with a lot of time this offseason, which I'm sure he'll be working on. You could also say the same thing for pitch tipping. This is where you're unintentionally cluing hitters on what pitch is coming so that you're a lot more predictable, especially when you're like Helsley with only two primary pitches in that slider and the four-seamer. But with all that said, you can pretty much write off 2025 when you just pay attention to how good Helsley's track record was from 2022 to 2024 in St. Louis. Now, as volatile as the reliever position is, the right-hander had 3 exceptional seasons within that span with the Cardinals. A 1.83 ERA, 82 saves, with which 49 of them came just in 2024. That's when he led all MLB with 49 saves, a whip below 1,000, and just over 12 Ks per 9 innings. He was an All-Star in 2 of those seasons and received Cy Young votes in 2 of those as well. Now, I mentioned that Helsley's fastball struggled, which is true, but the stuff remained absurd on that pitch. In each of his 7 big league seasons, Helsley's fastball velocity and spin were each in the top 6% of MLB, including this past year in 2025. So you have that stuff, and if you can fix the tipping issues, the arm angle, whatever it was, and get that fastball back to being effective, you have that, and it's huge, especially when paired with his lethal slider. This year, the closer sat in the 93rd percentile for breaking run value after preventing 12 runs with just his slider. But I also want to show you in 2024 his put-away rate that led all of MLB with his slider. A put-away rate depicts the rate of 2 strike pitches thrown that result in a strikeout. So what pitch is a pitcher using in order to get that K, and how effective is he in doing so? So we'll look at what it looked like in 2024 when he threw 164 sliders as his 2 strike pitches. That resulted in 57 strikeouts. That's a 34.8% put-away rate on that slider, which was the best in baseball that year. So you pair that pitch with returning the fastball to its effectiveness that we've seen in previous seasons with St. Louis, then you have got a good thing coming for your 9th inning guy in Ryan Helsley, especially with some big shoes to fill after Felix Bautista's injury.